All right, we might as well get started. It is 6:04, June 25th. We'll call the meeting to order. As a reminder, if you'd like to speak before the commission tonight, please complete a blue speaker request form and give it to the clerk prior to the item. The form should be on the back table. Stephanie, could we start the roll call?
Commissioner Fitch.
Present.
Commissioner Gracia.
Here.
Commissioner Barella.
Here.
Commissioner Ward.
Here.
Vice Chair Tinko.
Here.
Thank you.
Tonight, Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Commissioner Warren.
Awesome. Okay, everyone please face the flag. Place your right hand over your heart. Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Okay, the first item tonight is the commission reorganization. We now have 5 commissioners for the first time in a few months. So it looks like it's time to settle into the positions on the commission. So one of the things we need to do is we need to appoint a chair and a vice chair to serve through December of 2019. So that's when the term runs. Are they one-year terms total? Right. And so we're going to the end of 2019.
Correct.
Right. And do you have something to present on the item, Stephanie?
You set that up, but I can go ahead and fill you in. The Public Safety Commission appoints a commissioner to serve as chair and vice chair annually. These appointments are effective immediately and after the motions are approved. The newly appointed chair and vice chair will preside through the end of 2019.
Do we have any public comments on the commission items?
No, sir, we don't.
Okay. Do we have any commissioners that want to talk about the appointments and how we want to handle that? We didn't really have much of an opportunity to talk individually.
Yeah, I'd like to make a statement on that, if it's okay. I know that, Christian, you've been doing it for quite some time. Been doing a thorough and very good job at it. So it's my intention tonight to nominate you to be the chair of the Public Safety Commission. And if there is no objection, I know that Rob had a pretty big hand in this as well. And I nominate him to be the vice chair. But these are just my thoughts. I'm filling it out, pass it around to the rest of the commissioners.
Well, I appreciate that. I'd accept the nomination. If you want to provide that, do you have any other thoughts?
I totally agree with those nominations, and I agree that you've been doing an amazing job as chair, and Rob as well for vice chair.
All right, well, so we can move by. Do we want a motion and then we'll second it and move forward?
Okay, so we're now, do you want to do the first motion and second?
Oh, yes, I'll second it.
So, do I have to formally state it?
Correct.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion for Christian Danko to become the chairman for the Public Safety Commission.
And I second that.
Commissioner Fitch.
Agreed.
Commissioner Gracia.
Aye.
Commissioner Barella.
Aye.
Commissioner Ward.
Aye.
Vice Chair Tinko.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. And then we'll leave one for the vice chair. Second motion for that.
I'll do that one. I motion for Commissioner Gracia to be the vice chair.
And I'll second.
Commissioner Fitch.
Aye.
Commissioner Gracia.
Aye.
Commissioner Barella.
Aye.
Commissioner Ward.
Aye.
Chair Tinko.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you, Stephanie. So our first item this evening is introduction of the city's new community enhancement and safety manager, Johnny Terfer. Mr. Jones, do you want to do the introduction?
Sure, I'd be honored. The City of Eastville would like to welcome our new Community Enhancement and Safety Manager, Johnny Terfer, I should say. Sorry, I always butcher everybody's name. A Southern California native, Johnny grew up spending time in Anaheim, Escondido, and Yucca Valley. He learned about the business management in his family-owned retail service business, which he eventually went on to own. Later, he took an interest in local government and found it to be a fulfilling career path. While working full-time as a code enforcement officer and running his business, Johnny completed a degree in public administration and then took a job as a management analyst. Johnny volunteers on various organizations, including the California Association of Code Enforcement Officers, serving as the 2018 president, and is chapter president of the club that raises money to help families of fallen law enforcement officers. Johnny enjoys public speaking, riding motorcycles, hiking, engaging with the community, and most of the time he is with his loved ones, including 3 adult daughters, his girlfriend Jamie, and his son Doug. And so I'd like to welcome Johnny up here to say a few remarks to the Public Safety Commission.
Good afternoon, Chairman and the Public Safety Commission. I'm really excited to be here. I did relocate to Eastvale, so I'm also a member of your community, and I'm looking forward to working on some of the projects that are your vision and seeing if we can make those things happen. So I'm really excited, and thank you.
Great, welcome, thank you.
You're welcome.
I might also add that part of Johnny's experience is working with volunteers on patrol and creating that in his previous organization, or managing that in his previous organization. And we're going to be working to bring in the Neighborhood Watch program, the CERT training. We're going to not just do training, but also retaining. And he's a certified CERT instructor, so we'll be able to offer that more often than just the twice a year with the county, hopefully. And then the emergency management program will all fall under his purview, along with the community enhancement safety team. So I think it'll be a comprehensive, making Eastville a resilient and safe community. And so I'm really looking forward to his leadership on the team. So thank you.
Thank you. So next item is 3.3. It's the monthly fire department update by Chief Tovar.
Skip 3.2
3.2?
for the actual update for.
Oh, 3.2
Yeah.
for the fire?
No, for 3.2 for the community enhancement update.
Okay. What Stephanie said.
Good evening, Commissioner, City staff, and members of the public. Good evening, Commissioner, City staff, and members of the public. Community Enhancement and Safety Division update reflects the period from May 22nd, 2019 through June 25th, 2019. It includes code enforcement activities such as street sweeping enforcement, code enforcement cases, signs, and staff updates. For this period, we removed a total of 450 signs. Our street sweeping enforcement officer issued a total of 919 citations. We responded to over 254 cases, and we received 4 concerns regarding street vendors. Within the last 30 days, we retrieved 1 vendor card, we issued 1 vendor citation, and we asked 2 vendors to relocate. This reason was because it was on a Saturday for officer safety reasons when we had 1 officer out in the field, so we just asked them to relocate and relocated. This concludes my report. I'll be followed by any questions.
Any questions?
No, I just want to make a comment. I think you guys are doing a tremendous job. I know anytime I call upon you and your staff to, because there's like, we've been having a huge problem with baskets being pushed into the neighborhood. You guys are always on it immediately, and I thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I think it'd also be worthy of highlighting, he just got back from his 3-week reserve duty on military, so we missed him while he was gone, but we're excited to have him back. But thank you for your service, Mark.
Yeah, for sure.
Last
Thank you.
one, so I'll be retired soon.
Thank
you very much.
Great, thank you. So now we're on 3.3.
Good
Chief.
evening, commissioners, staff, and members of the public. Jeff Black, Northwest Division Chief, standing in for Chief Tovar this evening. I'll keep it brief, just 3 quick items. Calls for service for the month of May, 275 calls, 176 of those to Station 27 and 86 calls to Station 31, and then a few calls to Rupa Valley Station 17 coming into Eastville to assist. A couple of items of interest. Many of you have seen the events that occurred at the Costco in the city of Corona, and where I'd like to share with you this evening is something that's been in the media at different levels, and it's called delayed egress panic hardware. So if you haven't seen it in the media, I can definitely sidebar with any of you. I'll keep the city manager briefed on what I've recently learned about those. It's a lengthy process, and I surely don't want to turn our public safety meeting into a fire marshal meeting, but there's a whole lot of elements that go to that, and I can gladly answer questions at a later date, and would be glad to do so. As we've talked with many of you coming in the door this evening, the weather's been really nice, which the fire service definitely appreciates that. However, though, starting next week, there's a high pressure coming in, and at some point, you all know, we live in SoCal, fire season is going to show up. So with that being said, our defensible space around our homes, that is not as a huge issue here in the city of East Bell, thanks to our friends in code enforcement and everyone reporting weed abatement type of issues. But we do a great job collectively here. That's staff working together and all the residents. And then in closing, fire prevention message: one less spark equals one less wildland fire as we come into fire season. Any questions? Okay,
No,
thank
Chief,
you.
I do have, Chief, the, on the delayed egress that you're referring to, what is it a concept? I'm not familiar with it at all, so is it a concept about moving people?
No, essentially, it's a part of panic hardware. So, no examples in the room, but so I'll have to brief out on. You've all seen it before. So, if we were to have a declared emergency in this room, we go to the door there. You have twist hardware, easily recognizable by the public. But in most business settings, you have panic hardware. You just push, the doors open up. So, as part of it's all sanctioned within the California Fire Code, which the city of East Bell adopts here, along with all your surrounding cities. There's alternatives in there in the fire code because there are in the business setting, Costco, for example, and the large businesses, they have a theft concern they have to be aware of. So that's where that delay comes from, the 15-second delay.
Right.
However, though, there's very rigid mitigations in the fire code in order to have that type of hardware, very rigid on what they have to have as far as fire sprinklers, very robust dynamic alarm system. You just don't install them and then away you go. So there's a whole bunch of information. I'll make sure the city manager stays updated, and we can share all that with all of you.
I understand. I know what you're talking about now.
That was a big issue, right, with Corona.
Well, concern,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And if you read any of the social media, lots of questions, and we can get all those questions answered for you.
Okay.
No, I appreciate that.
You bet.
Chief,
Any more
thank you.
questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Next up is item 3.4, the monthly update by Sergeant Gutierrez.
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. I'll go over the May numbers. For the month of May, we had 2,104 calls for service, which was a 32% increase from the previous month. Total traffic collisions in May, we had 92, which was an increase of 30 traffic collisions in the month period. Out of those traffic collisions, the injury traffic collisions remained the same. We had 12 as the previous month. Non-injury traffic collisions, that was the increase of 30. We had 80 last month compared to 50 the month prior. Citations, we wrote 435 citations, which was up 6% from the previous month to 408. Moving citations, we had 311 written out of those citations. Parking violations, we wrote 124, which was a 5% increase. Vehicle burglaries, there was a 15, it rose by 15, it went from 10 to 25. Calls for service related to noise calls, it was 66, which was up from 58 the previous month. And mail theft calls, we had 3, which was down by 3. From the previous month, we had 6. The UCR stats for the month of April, we had 0 homicides, 0 reported rapes, 2 robberies, 1 aggravated assault, 13 burglaries, 53 larceny or thefts, 4 vehicle thefts, and 1 arson. Out of the robbery calls, we had 1 was a strong arm robbery at one of the local coffee shops, and the other one was somewhat of a vigilante call that turned into a robbery. So a little bit too overboard with that. This upcoming month, we have Picnic in the Park coming up this weekend. The traffic team is going to have maximum deployment there. I'll have my team out there. And also on the 4th of July, we're going to have maximum deployment with the Eastville traffic team assisting and our set teams. So I'll be out here 4th of July also. And just a reminder to everybody, even safe and sane, fireworks are illegal in Eastville. We'll receive a citation and we'll confiscate them. And I'm here for any questions if you have.
That's a big jump in TCs. Was there construction or something going on that caused?
You know, it's hard to say. I didn't see a pattern of what it was. It wasn't a specific area, but we do have a lot of traffic coming here. now, we have the new station open, we have Amazon, that's increasing the traffic collisions in that area. But it's up and down every other month, so next month could be 20 less.
Okay, so no certain area was
No.
that. Okay. And that was a great response to those two vehicle suspects you guys caught on a couple days ago.
Thank you, yes.
Did they get the male in custody?
I'm not certain on that one, I don't know. That has to check the warrant first. Right, it's been identified.
In regarding to your guys' task force for the street racing thing,
Yes.
are they going to be? Is there any plans for them to? Is it? I know is it county-wide or is it region?
It's county, it's regional to this area, but it's also county-wide, and they've even responded outside the county. You know, you haven't seen it much in Eastville, we don't have that big of a problem as other cities do. But if there was an incident here where there was people, they would respond if they were wrong.
And we're in conjunction mostly with our PD and their helicopter and their team. We have Ontario PD on board, Florida PD on board also.
I mean, the trick is, it seems like we have, you know, isolated incidents of people doing donuts, and it keeps happening, but they're not elaborate, like street racing events.
Yeah, I've
So
never
we
seen
don't
first
generally
time.
get the resources because it's not a specific event for street racing. They're just isolated incidents that keep happening over and over, and they're at our lowest deployment time. So,
And, you know, you'll see the fresh donuts,
Yeah.
where some, you drive down the street, that wasn't here yesterday.
yeah.
And it's usually the people that live in the area, that, you know, people know who they are, they're neighbors, they know which car races down the street as part of that person doing it.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get them eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I don't think so. Looking pretty good.
No, thank you.
Staffs look really good.
Thanks.
We move on to the consent calendar. All matters of the consent calendar are considered routine and are to be approved with one motion unless a commissioner, staff member, or a member of the public requests separate action on a specific item. Do we have a staff member that's pulled any items?
No, sir.
Member of the public?
No, sir.
Would any of the commissioners like to pull any of the items? That's a no.
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 So could we get a motion to vote on accepting the remaining items on the consent calendar?
All motion.
I'll second.
Commissioner Fitch,
Aye.
Commissioner Barella,
Aye.
Commissioner Ward,
Aye.
Vice Chair Gracia,
Aye.
Chair Dinko.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Now on our agenda, we don't have any revolving commission business, so that would move us down to the public comments.
We have one from Keith White.
We do.
First of all, I live in Swan Lake, okay? People coming out of Swan Lake, I understand private property, but when we get the stop sign, these young kids want to skid out and just crosswalk, and I'm in a crosswalk, trying to cross the side, go to the bus stop. These kids come out of Swan Lake, I know who they are, they just skid, they start speeding down Hamner Avenue going towards Belgrade. That's been an issue going on, that happens every day. Then the only other issue I have is 50 in Hamner, I have a suggestion, because I'm taking the bus going towards Corona or downtown Woodside. We have a stop sign there, but the cars seem to pass the stop sign because there's no crosswalk there or whatever. And I stopped there and the cars just start coming out of there. And I brought up many times. And so maybe we get a sign that says, watch out for pedestrians crossing or something.
That was Hamner and
58th Street.
58.
And also the cars coming out of Swan Lake, that's Hamner and Swan Lake. It's not the origin, it's the young kids. They're, as soon as you get there, they pull out really fast and start speeding their mufflers up and all that.
Did you say you know who they are?
I know a few, yeah.
Do you know what space they're in?
Huh?
Do you know what space they're in?
No, I don't know what space, but I can get the license plates.
Okay.
But it's to the point, because since there's no sidewalk on both sides where I live at, I have to go down that one driveway to cross over to get to, they go on the other side of the bus stop. But when I get off, that's Swan Lake going into home. I'm facing them, you know, there's no sidewalks in Swan Lake. We come out there, you know.
Yeah,
It's just coming out, not going in, it's them coming out and they're speeding.
right.
But at Hamlin 58, that's just been a major issue right there. And I know PD's doing the best they can, which I understand them, you know, they have other issues. But if we can, there's no crosswalk sign, maybe get a couple lines there or something, and get a sign, bright yellow sign, watch out for pedestrians. Because not me, there's other people walking the dogs and stuff. Every morning, you're walking the dogs too. I thought a couple of neighbors said, they almost got hit a couple times too.
So there's nothing to designate crossing at the corners? at
Well, they have a stop
Hammer?
sign there, but there's no line.
Right,
Correct.
okay.
But there's one at Hammer, that's Hammer Swan Lake. We have a crosswalk right there because they just got done repaving the whole thing.
Right, there's one there, and that's the one people are speeding through,
I'm
right?
talking about 158, yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
Hamner, yeah,
yeah.
okay,
They're just coming out of Swan Lake, that's the issue.
right,
And
okay.
they'll stop and then they'll just.
Well, I've made a
come
note.
out and down the public road rate.
I'm
They
trying to look
slam
at
on the brakes and start going really fast.
And are we talking about 68th Street, Hamner and 68?
58.
58.
58? Okay,
And a few of them will come out on 58th Street and not paying attention either. So I always stop there to look at the rest of the cars.
okay. We'll see if we can get it taken a look at, and see what we can do to enhance the safety in those
These young
intersections.
Kids, these young kids, they think that they can, as soon as they come out of Swan Lake, they think they can speed up really fast. And I've seen 4 or 5 cars go through red lights right there at Hamner and Swan Lake.
Right. Right, and if they live there, and if there's any opportunity for us to speak to the people that live there, I'm sure that the sheriff's department would help us with that, if it's gonna help public safety. Sometimes a little reminder can go a long way.
Yeah, so
But,
I'm
you know.
sure it's my safety, every other safety.
Yeah.
Because as passengers, we have to take the bus, have to be very careful, you know? So that's my only situation.
I appreciate that. I made notes on both. We'll see what we can do for you.
Do you want to?
Oh, yeah.
You know what, sir, you were here last month as well as Public Safety Commissioner, and you.
I wasn't here last month, I said the one before that.
Okay, the one before that.
Yeah.
And I think your concerns were similar in nature, is that correct?
Correct. But
Okay.
this time it's being a little bit worse, it's being better.
Okay, so that was my next question. So you think it's gotten worse instead of better?
Correct.
And the
I'm
reason.
talking about the 158th Street is improving a little bit, but I'm talking about at Swan Lake at the light. That's where people, I had to watch it, you know, I'm barely making a cross because they're speeding out of Swan Lake. You know, they got a green light, but I got the sidewalk too. They're making people making right turns, they're just speeding out there, I'm in the crosswalk.
Right. Okay.
It's
I-
coming out of Swan Lake.
And with regard to 58th Street, it looks like on the south side,
I call it north-south, yeah.
yeah,
north-south.
there's no sidewalk.
There's no sidewalk there.
I see, that might be part of the problem why we don't
There's a stop
have a
sign.
crossing.
Yeah.
It's a challenge to put crossing markers when you don't have a sidewalk to cross it to. So that might be part of the challenge.
Yes, because now on the other side, you're okay, but you're still facing traffic.
Yeah.
Which I didn't follow the law. I think there's a
Thank you, that
sidewalk
helped.
right there where the bus stop is. You know, you see the north-south side. So there's a bus stop right there. You know what I'm talking about, so.
Commissioner Dico, or Chairman Dico, we'll have Sergeant Gutierrez and our Public Works team work with him to help resolve some of these issues, or at least evaluate.
Yeah, thank you. All right,
Thank you.
well, that's good. I appreciate that, thank you. Do we have any more?
That's it, sir.
So we're on to 7, city staff reports. Do we have, let's see,
Chairman Dico,
Yeah.
I'd be honored to share the city staff reports.
That'd be great.
At next meeting, we will have, so I want to be respectful of time, because we'd like to invite you all over to the citywide neighborhood watch program event and highlight our public Public Safety Commission in front of all the residents that are participating in the Neighborhood Watch program. I'm excited about the attendance here tonight at this Public Safety Commission and all the people that are interested in public safety in our community. For so many months, we had 0 people attending the Public Safety Commission, so it's great to have people here and sharing their ideas on how to improve safety in our community. I also want to highlight that on towards the end of May, Commissioner Gracia reached out to me on behalf of some of his neighbors in his area, and we had a neighborhood watch meeting on 6/6 in front of a Pomona officer's home, Jaime, and we invited. They had some issues of criminal activity that were occurring, and then parking from the Serafina gated community into the single-family home community. And so we went out there. We invited the Serafina board HOA out there on 6/11. Lieutenant Martin, myself, and Mayor Rigby also met with the board out there and walked the whole community and to identify what the issues were and see what the issues are and help brainstorm ideas. On 6/17, they had a board meeting, and they've identified a number of solutions that Serafina is going to bring to the solution to help bring more of the cars within their community, and they're going to be enacting these things over a 30, 60 day period because they have to make some board changes and some policy changes with their HOA. But one of the things that they're going to do is also extend their private security, Russell Security, Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. into the Caxton residential neighborhood there. So that not only is that patrolling their gated community, but extending over there and providing a little additional patrol because some of the Serafina residents are parking into that area and burglaries are happening. I do want to share that our set team did some work out there and made some stellar arrests and identifying individuals that would be considered problematic to public safety, so we are doing a full-on assault comprehensive assault with the neighbors of the Caxton area, the Serafina Homeowners Association, and hopefully we'll be seeing some improved results. At the next Public Safety Commission meeting, we're going to have the promoters of the Tailgate Fest at the Public Safety Commission to highlight some of the things and share some of the traffic control plan and whatnot. We did have one HOA meeting with the neighborhood to the west of the Leo property, and I cannot think of that HOA at the moment, but I am the Lodge HOA, I've never walked out of an HOA meeting with a standing ovation from some of the homeowners, and so they were very pleasantly happy with many of the processes and procedures that both RSO and the promoters are putting in place to address concerns of the community as well as public safety with this event, so everybody can have fun at this Tailgate Fest that's happening August 17th and 18th. As you heard, the picnic in the park is coming up this weekend, and it is the only time that you should be enjoying fireworks in Eastvale. So go and enjoy the fireworks here, but please do not. You will be cited in Eastvale, and we will have our entire teams out there doing. And if you see your neighbors doing it, please report it so that we can respond quickly to it. And last but not least, we have the State of the City, July 17th and 18th. There's a business luncheon at lunch on the 17th and a free community event in the evening of the 18th, and we encourage all commissioners to partake in it. The Taste of Eastvale is after the 18th event at the high school. So if you need any more information, you can see any sticker on any business throughout the community, or you can go to State of the City Eastvale, and there's information on the webpage. So it's all over our social media right now as well. So I think that's about it. But just wanted to share that update.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
When does those security and all that stuff take effect for the Serafina neighborhood?
I don't have all the details yet. We're working on
Okay. And Lieutenant Martin, thanks for devoting those resources. I have noticed them throughout the evening in the neighborhood. I think chasing somebody down possibly because my cameras picked it up. So thank you for that, whatever it was. So appreciate that. But we have noticed the enforcement there, and I know the residents over there are grateful for that. Hopefully, it's something that we can take citywide. You know, like a little pilot program to start there or anywhere for that matter. But we are seeing a little bit of a difference there. And Mario, thank you for your quick response on some of the issues that I've had over there as well. Appreciate it.
A couple months back, the city had a feasibility study for looking at its own PD. Has the city made any other inquiries about, is that still a conversation with the city? And I was kind of wondering where we're at.
So we're going to have a public workshop on law enforcement services and what are the desires and values and needs of the community on July 30th at City Hall. So that's also being advertised on our social media in our channels. So if you sign up for our emails or you connect with us on any of our platforms, you'll see July 30th is a public safety workshop.
Okay.
And what will the workshop entail?
The workshop will entail having conversations with the community about what is important to them, so that we can have those conversations.
What time?
I think it's at 6 p.m. on the 30th, I believe so. 6:30. Get there at 6.
Have we had any other studies requested? Not saying I'm wanting one, I'm just wondering if we have any others prior to that. July 30th is not far out, so I'm just wondering, if we attend, are there going to be anything else that's going to be produced as a part of a city research prior to that meeting, or is it open forum to garner feedback? I'm trying to understand, just want to find out if there's going to be anything else presented that we haven't yet seen.
We will be updating some from internally with our own finance team some numbers, because we have the spreadsheets that were used so that we can update and evaluate based on what we're learning from Menifee's implementation of a similar study where they have made the decision. I want it to be crystal clear to the Public Safety Commission. We have not made a decision to create a police department or not create a police department. We are just having a conversation with the community. The feasibility study was just a snapshot of a financial thing. We are going to continue to revise and update that as more information and new information comes in. And so we want to understand, really it comes down to 3 things: dollars and cents. Do we want to have more boots on the ground or more presence in our community, and is local control important to the community? And it really comes down to those 3 things from multiple perspectives. And so this in no way, this feasibility study, this conversation is in no way dissatisfaction in our services that are currently being provided by the close to 100 hours of service by our Riverside Sheriff's Office. And by the way, we also got I think I forwarded an email to you. The Riverside, we no longer have an Eastvale Police Department. The Riverside Sheriff's Office would like to be called the Riverside Sheriff's Office, and they will no longer be wearing Eastvale Police Department badges as a directive of the new sheriff.
I actually appreciate that. I mean, I have a lot of pride in police departments, but I see it a little confusing. I've worked for both the sheriff's department and municipal police department, so I like to have the right name on the door. I think that's pretty fair to ask of the sheriff. They incur a lot of liability in the event that someone doesn't like their service. So I can respect that as a sheriff, and I don't think that changes the outlook of safety in our city at all. I think they do a good service. So
So moving forward, we just refer to them as deputies rather than officers, and rather than a police chief, he is Lieutenant Martin.
Yeah. And no, I appreciate that. And the way I understand it, then the feasibility study was a conversation starter.
Yes.
And then the conversation will continue on July 30th.
Yes. And the reason for the delay between when we had the last conversation with public safety is we needed to get through the budget season, and that's a pretty big lift by as city staff.
Yeah.
And so we were getting through that, and now we're coming back. A week or so ago, we had a public workshop on financial priorities where about 17 or 18 people from the community showed up. It was live streamed. This next public workshop will also be live streamed. So if you want to stay home and watch it, you can type your questions in there, and we'll try to answer them as well. So we're trying to get to the 21st century.
I like it.
Before that meeting, it'd be possible to gather some stats on how often we used like RSO unique resources like helicopters and K9 and SWAT, because we're probably still going to use those even with our own police department. It's still going to come at a different cost. So I'd be curious to know how much we actually use those resources that are still going to come from the outside.
Or they could be created on the inside.
Possibly, but helicopter would be a little,
Well, yeah,
little
I
tough.
mean, yes.
Yeah.
All right, anything more for the report? Thank you very much. Next item for commission communications. I don't know if we have anything currently on the communications list. Do we have anything else from the commissioners that we want to talk about? How about future agenda items? Item 9, do we have anything else in the future we want to put on the agenda for next cycle? I know that I'll be looking forward to the July 30th to engage in that conversation, but I don't know if I have anything for the next date, which would be just probably a few days before that meeting. So, well, if it's July 30th, it'll be before because that's, yeah.
July 24th is the council meeting, so July 23rd would be the public safety commission.
So,
meeting.
I think that's it. Should be ready. They must have just started about 10 minutes ago. So, according to my sheet, the next meeting would be, should be right here.
July 23rd.
July, it says July 23rd.
July 23rd, and it'll be at the City Hall Council Chambers.
July 23rd, 6 p.m. Meeting's now adjourned.
And we welcome you next door to the Citywide Neighborhood Watch
All
Program.
right, let's go. Move the meeting. Get your cards in.